Yo, what is good, everybody? It's Cameron, aka Cam, in the building. You know what I'm saying? I just woke up to this morning. You know what I'm saying? We know the gang. 135 views. I had to react to some other videos before I reacted to this one, but we're still like first hour or whatever. So that's cool. But this is, will BTS survive with only 3 members? BTS military plan 2020 update. This is so tough. In my 100% irrelevant, unfactual, and opinion where I have no clue what I'm talking about. But I feel like I didn't even know Korea had mandatory military. North Korea obviously had mandatory military service. I didn't know how South Korea had mandatory military service until like 3 months ago, maybe 4. I don't know. When we found about BTS, but bro, I feel like if you're in a high enough tax bracket, you should just be able to skip serving the military and focus on funding it. You know what I'm saying? Because like how much is, like, for example, bro, Suga, you know what I'm saying, or Jimin, either one, like 5'8", 5'7", what, 60 kilos, like, how much can they really do? Like obviously they're not gonna go like to the front, you know, they're not gonna be infantry, they're gonna be like some like tradesperson or something like that, maybe like something like that. So how much, like, how effective are they really gonna be when you could just, you know what I'm saying, they could just hire some other tradespeople and let BTS pay for that, you know what I'm saying, with their high ass tax bracket. That's just my opinion, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, my opinion is irrelevant. I'm not the South Korean government. But let's check this out. Let's see how it's gonna affect BTS. I don't know who their 3 members are that wouldn't go, but let's check it out anyway. That's why we're here to learn.
So here's a quick disclaimer. You may or may not remember a video on this channel talking about how Jin would have to leave the rest of BTS on December 4th, 2020 because of a certain long-standing South Korean law. And you may also be looking at the upload date of this video and think, hey, isn't it past December 4th? Isn't Jin still here? Didn't he just perform at the 2020 Mnet Asian Music Awards a few days ago? There, that's him right there. Okay, we can all see that he's still here and he hasn't shaved his head yet. So now that that's out of the way, what happened? Was I just lying in that video? Was it just clickbait? Well, no, everything I said in that video was true. It wasn't that my information in the video was incorrect. It's that South Korea itself changed its mind. If you've watched this video before, I should let you know that this video...
They were like, you're these Mnet tax dollars, bro. Like can we really send this guy to the village?
It was mostly the same as the last video, but I changed some of the information to reflect the recent changes in South Korean legislation in order to avoid misinformation. And I also fixed some audio issues that really bugged me. But there's also a good chance that you haven't seen this video before. I mean, when this video was uploaded, we only had 37,000 subscribers. So if you haven't seen it before, enjoy. And thanks again for the 100K.
Hey, big honey clay,
If you've
coming
been following
on!
this channel, BTS really is a group that requires no introduction. The hip-hop group started in South Korea in 2013, eventually becoming the quintessential worldwide K-pop boy group phenomenon we know today around 2017. Right now, it's not an exaggeration to say that they're on top of the world, and as far as pop groups go today, they're unmatched.
Nice to meet you, guy.
Yo, you know what's crazy though? Okay, we were filming a video, right? Or we were doing it on stream, but I'm gonna have the video out in a couple days. We were getting girls to rate Jimin on Omegle, bro. Man was getting some tough ratings, bro. I didn't think he'd get lower than a 7, okay? I was like, you know what? Some girls, you know what I'm saying? He might not be their type, you know what I'm saying? He's a little pretty, you know what I'm saying? Bro, he was getting... Bro, let me tell you, there was more ratings below 3 than there was above 5. You know what I'm saying? It was tough for my man's Jimin, bro. I was like, bro, I'm like, yo, this dude, bro, he look good, no homo, bro. like, you know what I'm saying? But I was so surprised, bro. But you know what? Like, you got people that almost die for him. You know what I'm saying? Like they screaming hard.
Their popularity is being compared to that of One Direction in their heyday. Or even the Beatles.
They're the first Korean act to reach #1 on the Billboard charts, and they just became the first group since the Beatles to earn 3 #1 albums in less than a year.
Just like every boy band before them, they have their own massive fan base.
Their fans,
Oh, they gotta go four. They gotta go four. They gotta go four. Okay, they
known as ARMY, are some of the most passionate fans that you can find in the whole
That's
world.
facts.
However, starting in December 4th, 2022, ARMY will likely see the members of BTS join the South Korean Army.
You see, mandatory military
that's
service in
rough.
South Korea has been around since 1950.
And that was kind of a nice little wordplay, you know what I'm saying? The members of the, will join the South Korean army, bro. But then he had the beat drop, you know what I'm saying?
You see,
Respect the editing.
mandatory military service in South Korea has been around since 1948. The beginnings of South Korea as a country. This mandatory military service was so important for the new country of South Korea that it was put into its constitution as Article 39, which states that all citizens shall have the duty of national defense under the conditions as prescribed by Act. This means that all physically able men from 18 to 35 must perform military service. And while women can as well, they're not required the same way men are. And if you're at all familiar with the events in Korea that happened during the 50s, you understand why this is so important to them. And while the Korean War had a ceasefire agreement on July 27, 1953, it was exactly that, a ceasefire. The war, technically, never ended. Because of South Korea's unique relationship with their neighbors to the north, an active military has been deemed necessary. Always
It's my uncle Kim Jong-un, you know what I'm saying? It's Cameron and Kim Jong-un.
is ready in case of a surprise attack, something that, as a possibility, has never left the minds of South Koreans.
So, now that we have that out of the way, what exactly will be happening on December 4th, 2022? On August 1st, 2018, the South Korean government made a shocking announcement. The required age that all able-bodied males must enlist was dropped from 30 to 28. This meant that when the oldest member of BTS, Jin, turned 28 on December 4th, 2020, he would have been required to enlist according to South Korean law. We all thought Jin would be leaving us by the end of 2020, but just when it seemed like all hope was lost, Jin got an early birthday present. Only 3 days before Jin's birthday, on December 1st of 2020, the South Korean government made a surprise announcement that allows select K-pop stars to postpone enlistment until they turn 30 rather than 28, effectively changing the big day of Jin's departure from December 4th.
So they still got 2 years to really go crazy. So does that mean, because is Jin the oldest, I'm guessing, does that mean they got 2 years to really go crazy?
Of 2020 to December 4th of 2022. People are already calling it the BTS law. Perhaps the government of South Korea found the kindness in their hearts to listen to the voice of the people, or perhaps it's because BTS rakes in almost $5 billion.
That's what I'm saying, bro. That is what I'm saying. Let them pay them. Let them fund the
for the
military.
entire country. So you better believe that the group, and by extension, ARMY, probably had some hand in this. And while this is definitely exciting news, just remember that this is not an exemption, but a deferment.
Well, the first problem is that even before enlisting, there's an issue that prevents candidates aged 25 to 27 to only a total of 5 trips in the course of 2 years, and each trip is limited to a maximum of 6 months. Thankfully, another announcement by the South Korean government was made in September of 2018, reducing the length of required military service for conscripted soldiers who enlist in 2020 and after. The Army and Marines are reduced from 21 months to 18 months. The Navy is reduced from 23 months to 20 months, and the Air Force is reduced from 24 months to 22 months.
So really, 2022 is not a bad time for our boys to join the military.
If this is news to you, this whole process may seem a bit archaic. The only countries with mandatory military service longer than South Korea are Singapore at 2 years, Israel at 2 years and 8 months, and finally, North Korea at 10 years.
Hey, if you're a homeowner, I'd like to show you a dead simple way to eliminate 5 to 10.
They really gotta reach Beatles status. Like they gotta re-rank it at like 20 million, and then I reckon they could get an exemption. I'm not gonna lie, because if the South Korean government's already like on the fence, like yo, they're making 5 billion. You know what I'm saying? Let's extend this, dude. You know what I'm saying? If they really reach Beatles status, I feel like they can finesse it.
Because of the constant tension between North and South Korea, we don't expect this law requiring mandatory service to be abolished anytime soon.
And even then, I'm sure a big hit, like if they really wanted to, like they could like pull some strings, you know what I'm saying, like get them out of the country, you know what I'm saying, like they could probably finesse and just, because at the end of the day, big hit is a business, you know what I'm saying, they're trying to just make as much money as possible. I feel like if they're making enough money, like they could spend, like where they could afford to spend like a couple $100 million trying to finesse the system, they could, you know, get them out. Like, not corruption, but like get them out like to another country, you know what I'm saying? Change citizenship or something. I don't know. I'm making stuff up. But I feel like, you know what I'm saying? When there's a will, there's a way, and if you have enough money, anything's possible.
There have been exemptions to military service, however, particularly when it comes to the athletics and the arts, such as Heung-min, a football player for Tottenham Hotspurs, and world-famous pianist Seok-Jin. In fact, despite its strict policies on mandatory military service, the South Korean government has introduced a staggering amount of exemptions for athletes. The first...
Oh, wait, they've already done exemptions. Okay, if they're already giving exemptions, okay, then, yeah, okay, BTS is good then.
exemption was given to a wrestler, Yang Jung-mo, after the 1976 Summer Olympics, and afterward, an exemption was then promised to any athlete who won a medal in either the 1986 Asian Games or the 1988 Summer Olympics. In 2002, the same promise was made to the national team if they reached the round of 16 in the FIFA World Cup, and again to the 2006 national team in baseball. If
they just they're on trajectory to hit Beatles status. If they can pull that off, they're chilling.
They reached the semifinals in the World Baseball Classic. The decision to exempt athletes from military service was an extremely controversial one, and after this, public outrage ensued. The government has since scaled back on exemptions. Current regulations state that there will be special treatment given to any and all athletes who win medals in the Olympic Games or gold medals in the Asian Games. But rather than a complete exemption from military service, they are placed in grade 4 to be enlisted for supplemental service or the second citizen service, rather than active duty service. Unless they are an exceptional case, they will not be placed in grade 6, exempt. While grade 4 is better than active military service, they still have to do 4 weeks of basic military training and attend a few days of annual military training for the next few years. Aside from that, they're pretty much free to continue their own sports careers until their service is over. While complete exemptions have been scaled back, we have seen a few in recent years, including 2008 Olympic gold medalist badminton player Lee Young-dae, 2011 swimming world champion Park Tae-won, the 2014 Asian Games gold medalist tennis player.
So I'm laughing because I said they gave an exemption to a badminton player.
Hyung, and of course,
just at my school, badminton is a joke.
Heung-min, a 2018.
Badminton is the sport that people have, because we have to play a sport at our school. Badminton is the sport that you play if you don't want to play a sport.
Asian Games gold medalist football player, just to name a few. While the exemption
and therefore everyone makes fun of it
is controversial, a strong argument can be made that when it comes to sports, 2 or more years of military service during that person's prime could be detrimental to their career and even end it prematurely. I mean, countless news articles documented Heung-min's career hanging in the balance when the Asian Games were coming to an end. And look how happy he was when he did win, not just because he won the Asian Games, but also because he didn't have to risk losing his entire career. The same thing, however, cannot be said
that
about
would be
Kpop
special.
stars. While violinists, pianists, and ballet performers have received an exemption for military service in the past, it has never been the case with actors, directors, and yes, K-pop stars.
Bro, Psy was in the military.
In the case with actors, directors,
is that what I just saw?
K-pop stars.
Oh no, that's JYP Park, right? Is it? Bro, imagine you fighting, bro, and you see the dude from Gangnam Style.
Popular in the late 90s and early 2000s, Seung-jun, also commonly known as Steve Yoo, is one such K-pop star who wasn't exempt from the draft and decided he didn't want to serve in the military. Starting his career in 1997, Yoo was the face of the K-pop industry, before there really was much of an industry. He won countless music awards and consistently topped the Korean charts. But in 2002, right before he was supposed to enlist for mandatory service, he emigrated to the United States and became a naturalized American citizen. Little did he know that this decision would completely end his music career in Korea. The government considered this an act of treason, deported him, and banned him from ever entering Korea again. Immediately after, Yoo applied for a Korean visa at the Los Angeles South Korean consulate, which was promptly denied. In 2015, he appealed to the Korean court to reverse the decision to deny his visa, appearing on video, pleading on his hands and knees, saying that he'll do whatever it takes to be accepted back into Korea, but he was denied once again. He tried to appeal it a final time in 2017, but after a court hearing, he was denied once more, and he is no longer allowed to appeal his entry ban. Miraculously, in 2019, the Korean Supreme Court sent Yoo's previously closed case back to the Seoul High Court to review, stating that the law has no restrictions preventing Steve Yoo from visiting South Korea. Soon after...
Alright, here's the thing though, right? There's a difference in this case, okay? As you said, this is when K-pop wasn't that big. Money talks loud. Money talks, okay, bro? Money talks, especially to governments, okay? If you like BTS, like obviously raking a lot more money, this is a completely different case, okay? I don't care if you're the face of McDonald's, if McDonald's is making $20 a year, but if they're making $100 billion a year and you're the face of McDonald's, okay, then maybe you got a point.
The appeals court reversed its earlier decision in favor of Yoo, which could eventually allow him back into South Korea if all goes well with the Seoul High Court. This remains to be seen, however, and despite being banned 18 years ago, evading military service is so looked down upon by the Korean public that 70% of Koreans still believe Yoo should be banned forever.
And also here's the difference with BTS as well, bro. They have more, I guarantee you, a larger than 80% of their money is not coming from South Korea. So even if they did do that, and you know what I'm saying, the Koreans hated him, 70% of the Koreans hated him, or hated them, it's not really gonna affect their bottom line as much as going 4 years in the military. You know what I'm saying? So like, and as I said, I guarantee you Big Hit does not care about the military service, okay? They are a company there to make money. That's what companies do, okay? The members of BTS might have a differing opinion, but Big Hit will sway them whichever way will make the most money. And I get it, Big Hit is a nice company as well, okay? That's what, like, Big Hit, we respect Big Hit, okay? That, you know what I'm saying? They promised on, like, I can't talk. They were like there when, you know, they had no money, you know what I'm saying? Like, they helped them a lot, but at the end of the day, it's still a business.
Perhaps the most high-profile Korean celebrities to have served in the military so far have been G-Dragon and the rest of Bigbang. They played it smart, and nearly all of them chose to enlist in 2018, with the exception of T.O.P., who enlisted in 2017. This resulted in the band returning nearly all at the same time in 2019, only a few months apart from each other. So what can be done in BTS's case? Here are 5 possible options that I've listed from option A to option E. Option A is exemption, of course, which is preferable. This would allow BTS to continue to perform together with no mandatory military service. However, this option is already off the table due to the Defense Ministry's unyielding policy of no exemptions for pop stars. So,
as I said, they got 2 years to prove them wrong, bro. Money talks, bro. That's what I'm
let's
saying.
move on to option B.
If they can, you know, keep the momentum going up until that point, with the point where everything is out of hand, then all of a sudden it might be a different story.
One after another. This will mostly be the same information as the previous video, but since the mandatory enlistment age for K-pop stars is now 30 instead of 28, 2 years have been added onto every date. If we assume that each member waits to turn 30 to enlist, similar to what we can assume Jin is doing, here's a timeline we can follow. And these are all just estimates based on their birth year.
That doesn't really make sense though. If you're trying to go as a group, I'll just get it over with.
Order of enlistment and
go
return
all at the same time.
2022, Jin leaves. BTS is 6. 2023, Suga leaves. 5 members left.
Wait, Suga is the second? Oh.
2024, J-Hope and
I'm not gonna lie, as soon as Suga leaves, I'm out.
RM leave. Jin and Suga return. 5 members left. 2025,
oh, actually,
Jimin and V leave, and J-Hope returns. Depending on who leaves first, we could either have 3 members or 4 members during this time. 2026, RM returns. 5 members. 2027, Jimin and V return.
oh, that's actually not too bad.
Jungkook leaves. 6 members. 2029, Jungkook returns. And BTS.
So then they're gonna go through 2029 to be back as a group. But by then, you never... Okay, realistically, they're gonna peak sometime before that.
Is 7. There are several strange things that will happen to the group if they choose to enlist one after another. First off, for some of 2024 until Suga returns, they won't even have a rapper, unless you count Jungkook, with the remaining members being Jin, Jimin, V, and Jungkook. In
yeah, that would be tragic.
There's a chance that BTS will have only 3 members, with Jin, Suga, and Jungkook.
As long as Suga's there, it's cool.
And finally, there may be a chance we see an OT7 reunion for about 3 brief months from June to September of 2027, right before Jungkook leaves. But after that, they will only be 6 until 2029. That's 9 whole years from now. And remember, these are just estimates based on their dates of birth. They may choose to enlist earlier if they want to.
Option C is what I'll call the Big Bang maneuver. They all enlist together at nearly the same time. This will require the entire group going on a 2-year hiatus and returning again all at the same time. It was possible for Big Bang considering that all 4 members were born within 3 years of each other, but with BTS having 7 members that have an age range of 6 years,
It just seems like a lot to ask considering that the youngest member Jungkook will only be 25 by the time Jin needs to enlist. And while it's possible, consider that Jungkook will continue to be a talented artist even if the rest of BTS is not present. He would be missing out on the freedom to experiment, see great potential personal growth, and pursue solo projects during this time.
Option D is what I will call
But you know, you join the military, you come back even more disciplined, you come back even stronger. Like, you come back, you know what I'm saying? They all come back as a unit, more disciplined, even more disciplined. And that, think about, in 2 years, I don't think like, obviously their name wouldn't be as crazy big, but they could all come back that would be a crazy comeback.
Fantone solution, posted by Quora user Daniel Fantone while doing research for this video. He suggests that the enlistment can be staggered and done in 2 to 3 staggered groups, with the groups having at least 1 rapper.
So I'm gonna close my door real quick.
And 1 vocalist, 1 English speaker, and 1 golden.
This ensures that there will always be a group ready for concerts and promotions, as well as a comeback by 2023 or 2025 if we had 2 years with the new legislation. Now, option E is, are you ready? Wait until the draft is abolished or Korea is reunified. Now, for either of those, don't hold your breath. But it is possible. No matter what option.
Okay, he a Miami Heat fan. Okay, was that a signed D-Wade jersey? Okay, D-Wade retired a while ago. Okay, I can respect that. Okay, I can respect that. What are the shoes though?
BTS chooses.
Listen, and these are
Jin
some...
says he's
I
ready
like
to
the
serve,
setup though. That's
as
clean.
is the sacred duty of every South Korean citizen.
만약에 결정되더라도 정말 좋은 모습을 보여드리기 위해 노력하고 있습니다.
Now, what do you think they'll do? What do you think the future holds for BTS? If there's a suggestion that hasn't been discussed in the video, let me know in the comments. The original video came out in February of 2020, back when we had less than half the subscribers we do now, and the great feedback and support we've received since then have been absolutely enormous. First off, if you've been with us since then, thanks for watching it twice. And I guess even if you're new, a big thanks for all the love and support.
I mean, as I said, they could do the same thing that that one dude did, move to the US and finesse around it. I mean, I'm sure Big Hit. I don't know. That's a risky move, though. That is a risky move. But again, Big Hit would be like, "Yo, we can make a lot of money." You know what I'm saying? And you live in the US now. If they lived in the US, you got a lot more opportunities in the US, and you already go crazy in the US. So like. You know what I'm saying? Like, they could go... Who knows? Who knows what they don't
Also,
do?
keep an eye out for the
But
next
shout out
big
the
update
Asian
for
Dairy
this
Video
video
110K.
in 2022. Thanks for watching.
Hey guys, if you like
He has
our
a good
video and
channel,
want to
go
support
check
our
him out.
channel in any way, buy us a coffee on Ko-fi. There's a link in the description below. Thank you so much for your continued support.
He got 110K and he asking for coffee money. If you guys enjoyed the video, please smash that like, subscribe button. Yeah, let me know what your guys' opinions are. As I said, I feel like money talks very loudly, and that's why they get to go to 30. I feel like, you know, if they continue to see that trajectory of the income going crazy and then tax dollars coming in, South Korea might be like, yo. Alright, but yeah, I'm out. See ya.